glad my keyboard's not in frame. That's really helpful.
That is a key thing.
Pun intended.
All right. We can go live now. We can go live to the YouTubes. Howdy, YouTube. Howdy, welcome, hello. I should probably mute this over here. Always good to have certain things muted. But you guys, we're back. It's Awesome Hardware. It's a live show, and we're going to talk about technology. We've got lots to discuss today. I'm joined, of course, by Kyle. He's joining me remotely from his secret hidden evil base or lair. Kyle might be a little choppy from time to time, and I'm a little dark, but it's fine. Kyle and I have different lighting patterns, but
well, I was saying I'm dark because I'm in the dungeon.
Oh, you're in the dungeon in the lair. Yes.
Yeah, the lair. Sorry.
No, it's you're adding.
You look great. You look. Oh, actually,
Thank
I'm
you.
only looking at you on your webcam. I'm not looking at the show right now. Oh yeah, you look fine.
Good.
At least you're not all faded like
Wait,
me.
the webcam is great, but this fancier setup I have is just.
I actually don't look super choppy.
No, maybe it's fixing itself. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I won't jinx it.
It's fine. All right, so guys, this is Awesome Hardware. We usually stream every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we go for an hour, sometimes two, talk about technology, computers, gaming PCs, and the components therein, and the news and stuff surrounding that. Now, we have actually been off for like a good month plus, so thanks for all of you guys who are joining us after our hiatus. It was originally not planned to be that long, but it became required. We're back now for a little bit, and we also have some big announcements. The first big one is that on December 12th, which is in like 10, 11 days from now, there is going to be the annual Awesome Hardware charity live stream. We can say it's annual now because I think we've done it like 3 times. This is going to be our 4th. It's not going to be exactly the same as it has been in years past because this year's messed up in many different ways, but we're still going to do the stream. We're planning to go for 8 hours from 10 a.m. Pacific time to about 6 p.m. Pacific time. Kyle and I are both going to be streaming, and we will announce more details about that on Twitter, so follow our Twitters if you want to be appraised of when that all is happening. We'll be raising money through Extra Life, and it's for children's hospitals, which is pretty cool. Kyle,
you mentioned the giveaways, right?
Oh yeah, and we have giveaways that will go along with that. There's going to be gaming PCs. There's going to be at least 1 or 2 graphics cards. This might be the only way that you could get a graphics card at all in 2020.
Yeah.
So that's a good reason.
These particular, like, they're going to be new graphics cards.
Yeah.
Like, all the impossible to find ones.
The giveaways that are lined up so far are, like, the new hardware that you can't buy. So that's reason enough right there. I mean, I can just tell you guys, I've already posted the video of the build of it. I got a 5900X based PC with an RTX 3080. It's the whole system. It's well over $2,000 build. And that's going to be given away along with other stuff. It's going to be
That means
cool.
there's probably going to be roughly at least like $5,000 worth of giveaways, and most of it's going to be because of you know, like new graphics cards and new CPUs. Potentially 10 grand worth of giveaways if they're sold on the second.
If you calculate their street price right now, it's like it's like gold. It's probably worth even more than gold. All right.
They're really good prizes. You guys should tune in.
Thanks for the reminder, Kearney. We do drink beer on this show usually, and we occasionally use adult language, so please be forewarned of that. And also cheers and welcome, and thanks to you guys for joining us, and welcome back.
Cheers.
Prost.
Cheers, Paul. Cheers me through the screen.
I can do that, right?
Clink.
Is it clinky?
Clink.
Wait,
We need a clink
you
sound
gotta go over
effect.
to the side if you want it to clink on the side. Oh, you went too far. You're out of frame. We can spend most of the rest of the show trying to line this up perfectly. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
All right.
Don't spill your beer.
Oh no, it's the delay is killing me.
The
All right,
delay
here
is
we
pretty-
go. Here
alright,
we go.
that's pretty good.
All right. Clink.
Clinky. Okay.
Cheers.
Good.
That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking?
Right now, I'm just finishing off my last Anchor Steam, which is a quality beer from San Francisco, California.
Nice.
Who brews this? Anchor Brewing Company. And then I'm following that up once I finish it with this Imperial Stout Work Orange. which is 15.7% alcohol by volume. And
Jesus. It's a good thing you're streaming from home.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes once we get there. All right.
Damn.
What else? Oh, we have one more announcement, which is that we both have stores. I don't have the store pages open. I have to hold on. I am not on top of this. There we go. Stores. Yes, we have stores and we also have sales. Both Kyle and I have awesome sales starting today. So check out the holiday specials, you guys. If you were considering buying some Paul's Hardware or some I almost said Kyle's Hardware, some Kyle Bitwit merch, it's a great time to do it. 15% off of orders over $50, 30% off orders of over $100. We have some new merch on my site. We got some new Warhol design thumb screws, the classic, a bit of RGB thumb screwage going on. High-end tri-blend lightweight wicking hoodies and zipper hoodies, which are amazingly soft and comfortable. So everyone go and check those out and buy them if you're interested. paulshardware.net is where you do that. We also have the Warhol design on some other products, as well as, of course, the classic thumb screw design, mugs, pint glasses, all that good stuff. We also have Kyle's store, which I really need to update the link for in the thing, but go to bitwit.tech to get to Kyle's store, and then go to shop, and then that's where you can buy stuff from Kyle. Kyle, any highlights?
Not so much. We're practically sold out of the new desk mats. There's a couple flavors left, but we are going to be getting a new shipment sometime, well, I guess this month. It's December now. So hopefully in a couple weeks and before Christmas lands, we'll have all the mats back in stock.
Yeah.
But we're expecting them to sell out really quickly again. So just
very
follow
popular.
me on Twitter.
They're nice mats.
Yeah, they're super high quality. I'm using one right now. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at BitwitKyle for updates on when exactly they'll be dropping again, because it'll be a really short window.
Okay.
But apart from that, just like the usual stuff on the site, nothing else new.
And I believe the sale also applies to your store as well, right? For December?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep, 15% over $50 spent, and then save 30% on orders over 100. Yep, exactly the same. And it does expire in 10 days on December 10th. So get it while it's hot.
I thought it's good. Oh, yours is December 10th?
That's what John said. Discount codes expire 12/10.
Oh.
But maybe we'll extend it if Paul's is extended throughout
maybe
the whole
ours
month,
are slightly different. Mine doesn't have mine doesn't require a code.
Oh.
I don't think.
My codes are over 50 if you spend over 50 and over 100 if you spend over 100.
Oh, okay. Well, this is different then. Our sales are slightly different, just to confirm, but I'm sure all that detail is on Kyle's website. So
yes.
So go there. And yeah, my sale is through the end of the month, all the way through the end of December. So sweet. All right.
Nice.
Let's move into the news.
Okay.
The tech news. Starting off with the launch of the new graphics card from today, the RTX 3060 Ti. Quite a few reviews up on that today. I did not do a review. I did some unboxings, and I was happy with that decision because, it's been a challenging year in various ways, and this was not a time when I was capable of putting in the work required to come out with a full benchmark review of the 3060 Ti. However,
it's understandable.
I can summarize for you guys right now. It sits right between a 2080 Super and a 2080 Ti in terms of gaming performance, shading and raster performance, to be specific. I have linked in the show notes down below, which has links to all the stories we're talking about today, the hardware unboxed review with our good friend Steve over there. He had the Asus Strix, ROG Strix gaming version of the 3060 Ti. He put it through the gauntlet of his benchmarks and everything like that. So let's check out his final slides, because it's always fun to just jump to that. Here's his 18 game average at 1080, and as you can see, with the average frame rate and the minimum FPS on the green bar right there, it's sitting right between a 2080 Super and the 2080 Ti.
So it's like a 2080 Super Ti.
It's 2080 Super Ti. If they ever did a 2080 Super Ti, that's what you'd be looking at.
That's what it is.
Let's jump to 1440. As you can see, more of the same. Does a little bit better at 1440, I think. It's a great card for 1080 and for 1440. That's absolutely been confirmed by this. Jumping up to 4K and you'll see the 3070, 2080 Ti, 6800, and 3080, and so on are better cards for your 4K gaming. But the 3060 Ti, it's certainly capable of it. But those other cards are probably going to be more suitable for you. But of course, none of this matters because you can't buy anything right now, and they're all sold out. Cost per frame, though. Check out that cost per frame. That's the 1080 cost per frame. Oh, well, you'd have to wait for me to jump ahead. I'm just jumping through Steve's video.
Oh yeah.
I'm selecting only the selectest and juiciest of Steve's slides. So a great job. If you're not familiar with Hardware Unboxed, excellent benchmark review videos all the time. I highly recommend them. Everyone go subscribe.
World class.
And yeah, he does nice summary slides as well. So gives you the cost per frame here. And as you can see, at $400, 3060 Ti, this is at 1440 by the way, is coming in a good 50 cents cheaper than your RTX 3070 or your 6800 or any of these new cards, to say nothing of the best performance per dollar of the last generation, which was the RTX 2060. Or the RX 5700 if you're talking about AMD, but there you have it. That's kind of the quick summary of what the 3060 Ti can do. Kyle,
why aren't all of our reviews that quick, concise, and short?
I don't know, because
I feel like I don't need to know anything else about that card. You perfectly summarized it in a matter of 2 minutes, I think.
Well, it's easy when Steve when Steve does all the work.
Steve's videos where he put probably like 40 hours into it.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true. But I mean, that just goes to show how time consuming these 10-minute review videos are. You don't see like the countless sleepless nights of just like staying up benchmarking 10 different cards or whatever, a million different ways, and it's all packed. It boils down to a 10-15 minute video, or 30 minutes if you're Gamers Nexus.
They're very information dense, which is cool. Really quickly, Kyle, I think maybe you should move your mic away just a little bit from your mouth, because
is it hot?
It's hot. That's a little hot. Just a little hot.
Does it help at all if I do that?
Yes, that definitely helps. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
But yeah, like all of the graphics cards that have launched just recently, and I did watch some parts of your video as well, Kyle. And I saw at the beginning there where you had them all laid out on the table, and you're like, this is the fourth big new NVIDIA graphics cards that has launched. Got a couple, very in other times very exciting graphics cards launches from AMD with the 6800 and 6800 XT. Yeah. But the inventory issues, the demand being so insanely high, it's just a lot of people are just like, yeah, I would be excited if I could buy one. Can't buy one. Here's my money. Take my money, but I can't do it. And no, I'm not spending double what MSRP is to buy from some stupid scalper, because
Screw that.
Ethics and principles and all that. So
and even NVIDIA's lost seems like they've lost excitement for their own products, because with this launch with the 3060 Ti, first of all, not everyone got samples, and like a lot of creators that normally always get a lot of big samples didn't. And secondly, those same creators weren't even notified that this card was launching. It kind of just snuck up on them. The first time they found out that the 3060 Ti was a thing, officially confirmed and everything, and was launching, was at 6 a.m. this morning when they saw our videos go up.
Yeah.
This was confirmed by Greg Salazar and Brian BPS Customs.
Yeah.
Those guys just had no clue. There was no communication between them and NVIDIA to even do some sort of press content or whatever, announcement video. So, and then I was asking you, Paul, the other day, like, this was like 2 days ago. I was like, what's the price? We haven't even been told the price on these cards. How can I film a review of any kind without knowing the MSRP? And then you had found it on NVIDIA's press website. It wasn't even like some press, rep came up to you or emailed you and gave you the information. You kind of had to dig for it. And so that's the only way I was able to integrate that into my review, is because you went looking for it.
Oh, so it's just that was new to you when I messaged you that?
Yeah, I had no idea what the price was. No one had told me. Never got an email about it. Never said. No one even said check the make sure to keep tabs on the press site because we'll be putting new information there about price. Nothing like that. So it just kind of goes to show that NVIDIA was maybe trying to silence this launch as much as possible so that there was just less backlash about people, rightfully complaining about the low inventory.
Yeah.
That these are all just vaporware or paper launches.
So it's a pretty distinct contrast to the way you saw NVIDIA approach like the 3080 launch and the 3090 launch when that was happening, where they were like a month ahead of time, big countdown, all these announcements and teasers, and they did the full like history of NVIDIA, with all the posts that they were doing, leading up to it and getting people hyped and everything. And it was certainly effective. There was so much buzz and excitement around it at the time, but now they know they're going into a much different situation where, one, they know the cards are going to sell. They know anything that they put on the market is going to get snapped up immediately. But two, they also know that there's this PR issue, PR situation that they have to address and deal with to some extent as well. And certainly, like, I'll see posts on Twitter and stuff like from add-in board partners and everything, where they're like, look at the new, version, whatever third-party version of our card, and they'll have pictures of it and everything like that. And they're promoting their brand and their products, but it's received so negatively by people because they're like, why are you telling me about this when I can't buy one? So I think you see some, to some degree from NVIDIA, I think you see them pulling back from that, sort of winding up the hype machine. This was a much quieter launch. There were a lot fewer people who were aware of it. Sorry, my brain stopped working for a second there, but you get my point, right?
You're spot on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's it'll be, there's more cards. I'm sure there's more GPUs from both AMD and NVIDIA on the horizon that are just going to be subsequently met with less and less enthusiasm.
Yeah. Both
from consumers and even from the manufacturers themselves. And what I said in my video is like there's no hope in sight. Like even the first batch of cards that launched, like the RTX 3080 months ago now, still has not improved its stock situation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think I think this is just the beginning of like a GPU drought, because if you've been looking at like the charts or following like the crypto scene lately, that's been just shooting up.
We're gonna come to that. We
it's an article. Okay.
We will be discussing that.
Then we'll save it. It was just a thought that I had. All right, cool. You're one step ahead.
But you're very right.
Well.
At a time when there are so many contributing factors to the shortage, that is one additional factor that a lot of people are looking at in a very positive light. I mean, of course, there's your people who are very into crypto who talk about how it's awesome, and I don't blame them for that or anything. But the fact is, it does place them at odds with gamers who just want to be able to buy a graphics card and play some video games. I was gonna relay. There was a call that NVIDIA had a couple weeks ago now, I think, about the 3060 Ti prior to launch, and they were addressing some questions from the press and stuff like that. And they were talking, I think, reasonably frankly about their inventory for NVIDIA, just as far as their assessment of it. And there were multiple reps there who said, who have been in this industry for a very long time, who have gone through a lot of different graphics cards launches and stuff, who are like, look, any other year, like minus pandemic, minus any other contributing factors, any other sort of more normal year or cycle, I would have told you we have strong, healthy inventory, and we expect to be able to meet demand, no problem. This year, can't say that. And I think that's a testament to just how much of a shift there is this year in terms of demand for lots of different factors, or lots of different reasons. But at a certain point, there is a finite number of wafers that they can produce at the fabs, and Yeah, it's also there's also a long life cycle in producing a wafer, so it's not something that they can turn on a dime and be like, oh, wow, people really want these cards. Let's ramp up production and get more of these out in a couple weeks, because these cycles take months. So that's why expectations for inventory to get better, even though it's been a couple months now. Has it been a couple months now since the 3080 launched? Something like that?
Yeah.
Month and a half?
Yeah, it has.
Even though it has been that long and it seems like a decent amount of time, there are still not new dies coming off of the fabrication line that started before the launch. My wording is anyway. So yeah, this it's gonna take a while to get back up to speed. It seems like, and yeah. So the 3060 Ti is gonna be gone instantaneously tomorrow. Pretty much assume that. But the other thing you can't assume, if you want to try to look silver linings or whatever, there are 3060 Ti's, a certain volume of them. We don't know the exact number, that have now been distributed to retailers. And tomorrow morning, presumably at 6 a.m. or whenever the retailers decide to hit go and set the items to live and available for sale on their websites, there will be a certain number of you guys who are able to buy new graphics cards. And a day or two ago, before the 3060 Ti was announced or launched or anything like that, you were looking at the, only what's available from the other cards. So it is another pool of graphics cards that for a small number of people will make them happy. And we'll see if we hear from them. And we'll see, how widespread that is and everything like that. But I think
we'll see how many days they have to camp out in front of Micro Center to get their hands on one.
Yes, very, very true. So
totally worth it though if they actually get one.
Yeah. So there it is. And especially right now, because I mean it's gone beyond just these new graphics cards launching. All graphics cards are selling out everywhere, like all the way down to your mid tier and below cards. If you're trying to buy a graphics card that MSRP's for above $150, they're sold out everywhere, or they're like stupid overpriced,
crazy prices
to where you're like, no, I'm not going to pay $450 for a $280 graphics card or something like that.
Right.
And you shouldn't. Don't do that, because inventory issues are typically temporary.
You gotta like look on Craigslist or the secondhand market from someone who's selling a card that where they don't maybe understand the market right now. They're not really looking closely at the market. They're looking at what they paid for the card, and they're using the typical rule of thumb. It's like, all right, well, I'll charge maybe 65% of what I paid for it. You can find those deals occasionally, especially if it's like a buy it now, and because if it's an auction, then it's just going to go back up to the inflated price that every other card is selling at.
Yeah.
But on Craigslist and stuff, if you're just buying local, especially if you're buying local, then you have an even better chance, because there's usually not like a crazy bidding war going on all around the country or wherever. But it's tough, man. It's brutal out there for anyone who's trying to buy a GPU. My heart goes out to you. That's a tall order right now. Uphill battle.
Yep. For our part, we're trying to set up some giveaways and stuff. We have a smattering of cards, but I am trying to. I did feel like I ended up with a decent number of RTX 3080s for a card that was so limited in supply, and I am trying to sort of redistribute those. I don't need all of them. So
yes, you do. You just want to cuddle up with like all 6 of them, all 10 of them at night. Every night, she's like, ah.
I mean, that's if I want to fall asleep and get a good solid 8 hours, that's the way to do it. But
swim in a pool of 3080s.
But I'm willing to make that sacrifice when it comes down to it.
It's big of you.
Thank you. All right. Speaking of crappy graphics card situations, here's the Radeon RX 6800 and 6800 XT, also more recently launched. Also good performing cards, also immediately sold out everywhere. And I did a video sort of addressing like which launch was worse. So it was just a Q&A where that question was asked. I kind of asked the question. But anyway, point being, it seems like, to follow up on that, AMD has definitely had a worse launch in terms of what's available. And there's actually a little bit more solid data on that coming out from a few sources. And this is a specific source, but this article is from Tom's Hardware, and it is a European tech retailer called ProShop, which I believe is Dutch. And they have actually been posting some of their stock numbers for the 6800 and the 6800 XT. And you can see in some of these charts, you can see what they've ordered, cards that they have incoming, like, oh, we've sent you a shipment, we have cards on the way, and total number of cards received. That's the 6800 XT. This is the 6800. They did get a batch of 100 RX 6800s from PowerColor, just from the reference design. Other than that, though, pretty slim pickings. They also have 8 Asus RX 6800 Tough OCs and 5 of the Strix OCs on the way. That's a total of 113 cards that they are expecting or that they have had delivered, and they ordered 2,213. So that's they were like, hey, we think we can sell about 2,200, and they have received just over 100 of that, which is a lot less. If you look at the 6800 XT numbers, they have 34 that they have actually received or that are on their way. They ordered 1,909.
Wow.
So in terms of vaporware or paper launch or whatever the heck you want to call it, when it comes to a product being announced and available for sale but not actually available for sale, it seems like we should be pointing the finger a little bit more at AMD in terms of what's actually out there and available on the market. Now granted, it's just a single vendor, one location in Europe, so we can't take this and be like, this is representative of the entire world or anything like that. So grain of salt and everything, but it is at the very least some hard numbers from a retailer in terms of what they would want to order and what they have actually received. They have actually also published numbers for their RTX series. They've now also included the 3060 Ti in that. So this is directly on the ProShop website. And here, again, you can see that they've placed much larger orders than what has actually come in. For the 3060 Ti here in particular, they're trying to order 200, 400, 500 at a time. They're actually receiving 30, 23, 40, 50 of them. And then they have some incoming cards from MSI, it looks like. The Ventuses and stuff like that. So yeah, you can see this on the proshop.de website. You can also see the numbers for the 3070 and stuff like that. So you can see that the cards are out there. They're bouncing around. It's just, again, a lot more than what people would be willing to buy, and hence quick sales and everything like that. Now you mentioned the 3060 Ti reviews that went out and everything, and how there was actually a little bit more limited in terms of sampling and who covered them and everything. Videocards.com has a roundup. I think they do this for every major launch, where they post links to all of the reviews globally, and like there's yours with the American flag and computer base, and they show which cards were covered and stuff like that. I have to thank them for putting me here in their review roundup, since I didn't really do a review, but they still listed me. Thanks, Video Cards. Appreciate that.
Represent.
But note here that even though, like you said, this was not as widely as sampled of a card, look at all of these. Okay, so it's not
a good handful. It's
still a pretty decent amount here if you scroll down the list. Look at the third-party add-in board review count for the 6800s. This is the list right here.
Oh wow! Just starting.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So this is from a week plus ago, whenever the 6800 and 6800 XT launched.
Dang.
This is how many third-party reviews. This is how many reviews came out for third-party add-in board cards. There were the reference designs that AMD sampled directly that we looked at. This is the third-party designs, like from XFX and Asus PowerColor and all that.
This only shows who posted a video, not who received a sample of a third-party.
That's
right?
true. So like this doesn't include like yours, for example, but I don't think yours went up. This is what went up on the launch day, because there was a secondary embargo for the add-in board cards. And
mine did go up on launch day. I just forgot to add mine, or they just overlooked it.
Okay, well.
The 25th, I think.
Yes. Well, anyway, there were a lot fewer of those cards out in the wild in terms of review samples as well. So, anyway, just again more sort of looking at numbers and what's
Crazy.
out there and everything.
That's insane.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. We are a little bit later in the show going to do an Ask the Audience segment. And before we get to that, I want to quickly share the... oh no. Trying to click links. I wanted to show the questions that we're going to ask so you guys can start answering them.
Ask away, Paul.
RTX 3060 Ti, yes or no? It's the headline. This is so I have two polls that you guys can vote on. This is just the yes or no. This is the binary answer. You have to just choose one or the other. And then I have this one, which is a little bit more nuanced. So if you're feeling like the yes or no is just, painting you into a corner too much, then choose one of these samplings of responses that perhaps one of these will work better for you. And I will post links to these in chat. And sorry, Crafty. I know I'm just way too on top of things today, apparently. But yeah, well, there we go. Yes, no, maybe. These are sort of like, yes, I feel good. I'm positive but not great. Neutral in the middle. I'm a little mad, and then the most angry one there at the bottom. That's so funny.
I'm just reading your last option.
you like that last one?
That's great.
My soul rages with the fury of 1,000 suns. I will never forget this transgression, and I wish to seek out and punish those responsible.
My vote.
I've gotten that vibe from a lot of people online in terms of.
That's going to be high up there on the list
feel.
for sure.
Uh-huh.
Legitimately.
All right. Well, we shall see. But before we get to that, we have another great segment, one that you guys have probably been missing, and that is Oh Joy. Oh wait, no, it's not time for Oh Joy yet. I forgot. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh, we have one more story.
I have one more story, one more
Tech
news
news.
story here. With all this tech news and graphics cards that you can't buy and everything, and everything, I was like, is there anything that's just not a graphics card that we could talk about briefly? How about a 24 terabyte hard drive?
Oh my god.
Right? I'm going to very quickly tell you guys about this 24 terabyte hard drive, which is not a graphics card. I just want to point that out and reiterate and really drive home. This is
But
not.
you also can't buy it yet.
This is not a GPU. That's true, Kyle. That's true. But I anticipate that when these do launch, they might be slightly easier to obtain than than the graphics cards that have been launching. Anyway, there was some event that they were having, Bernstein's Operational Decisions Conference, which sounds
What?
which
That's a weird name.
sounds so exciting. It sounds like such a Bernstein's Operational Decisions Conference is where the CEO of Seagate, Dave Mosley, revealed that they're going to be using heat-assisted magnetic recording, or HAMR technology, to produce this 24 terabyte hard drive, which they're expecting to come out with next year. Current peak capacity for a magnetic hard drive is 20 terabytes, so they're bumping up the capacity by 4 terabytes at a time, which is significant because prior to now they've been going in 2 terabyte jumps, and that doubles that, right? That's twice as many terabytes.
Hell yeah.
Even though it's 4 more terabytes. You get what I'm saying. HAMR technology temporarily heats the disk material during the write process, which allows more data to be written to the same area. Seagate's rival, and they always throw in slings and arrows at each other, is Western Digital. They use MAMR technology. So you got your HAMR and you got your MAMR. WD says microwave-assisted magnetic recording totally kicks the crap out of heat-assisted magnetic recording. Heat-assisted magnetic recording sucks, and Seagate should go cry in a corner. Seagate, I'm just making stuff up now, by the way, but this is fun. Seagate responded and said, "MAMR, that sounds like a boob." That's just what I think. That's kind of what it sounds like. Anyway, though, this is obviously
Your hard drive has glands.
This is my hard drive's got mammers. My hard drive mammers are. Anyway, this is obviously going to be a heated battle in 2021. Something to look forward to. And that's all I have to say about that. Kyle, your mic is. What happened to your mic, Kyle? We got no audio. Kyle, your sound is gone.
How about now?
Oh, that's better. You fixed it.
There's a really, really sensitive button right at the bottom of the mic, right here, that I just very lightly tapped, and it just muted.
Oh, that's
Muted
the
mic.
mute?
That's the mute. Very strange.
Wow, that is...
Usually it's like on the sides, but when
Yeah.
it's on the bottom, you can kind of like easily hit it if you rub up against it and stuff.
That does seem like a interesting
play.
design choice, I guess,
Yeah.
is the friendly way of putting that. All right, let's get back to Oh Joy, because we haven't been talking about anything depressing so far.
I was gonna say.
Oh
sounds
Joy
like we already just went through that segment.
is the segment where we talk about horrible things that typically have no solution to them. It's lovely and fun. We're going to get through this, and then we're going to have fun for the rest of the show, I think. All right, so here's a story from Kit Guru. Power supplies. If you are frustrated with graphics cards and CPUs being difficult to find and overpriced, power supplies are also overpriced. The prices went up. They got difficult to find in the past year or so. Various reasons and things that was blamed on. But point being, they're still challenging to find and still more expensive than you would like. And maybe that's going to get even worse because 80 Plus, which is a rating system, a certification that's administered by Plug Load Solutions, is going to start costing more. Plug Load Solutions is raising their prices. 80 Plus certification ensures a power supply delivers a certain level of efficiency at 20%, 50%, and 100% of its load. But as you can see from this document here, which is originally, I guess Igor's lab is the one who surfaced this, the prices are going up a decent amount. Actually significantly if you compare them to what they used to be. First registration of a power supply model into the program now costs $5,000. And initial power supply testing is about $6,000 per unit for 115 volt, 115 industrial, and 230 volts for the European Union internal power supplies. That was formerly $2,000 a unit. So from 2,000 up to 6,000.
Holy shit.
That's a significant jump up in price.
Does it say when they last changed the pricing? How long it's been at 2,000?
No, I don't have any historical data on that. Although the article does show a couple, reference a few of these for what they used to cost and what they cost now. It's $7,250 a unit for 230 volt data center internal power supplies. There's also a rebranding fee where you take a previously certified power supply and rebrand it. I think if you change components or something like that, perhaps. That is now $3,500 per unit, up from $1,000 per unit. So an example that the article put together is if you take a look at a company like Corsair, who makes lots of power supplies, and they have something like an RMX series, which has 5 different units, 550, 650, 750, 850, and 1,000 watts. It would cost Corsair $17,500 to get recertified for that lineup if they were to make a change or come out with a V2 or something like that for those power supply units. Which, you got to remember that's per unit, and then they can make lots of those units to sell them and everything, but it also seems like it is a pretty significant bump up in the price compared to what has been in the past. So the concerns are that those costs will now be potentially passed along to customers. And, now your power supply that used to be able to get a solid 550 watt 80 plus bronze unit for 40 or 50 bucks, and now those are 75, and now maybe they'll be 85 or something like that. There's also the potential, though, that a different certification might gain popularity. If people are like, hey, Plug Load Solutions, I used to think so highly of your 80 plus rating, and then you went and jacked up your prices, and now I'm upset because my power supplies cost more. There are potential alternatives. Kit Guru links to another story that they did back in 2017 about this is a company or the certification standard. It's called Cybernetics. Cybernetics started in 2017, and it's supposed to be like a better rating and efficiency standard. Honestly, I did not read through this part of it, but just wanted to point out that there might be alternative solutions to 80 plus ratings, but we'll see what happens there. Yeah.
I was gonna say, why doesn't a company like Corsair just make up their own standard, you know. But then I guess that would require a lot of maybe some R&D, probably a lot of upfront money to like do the proper testing for all their units, and to even just create that standardization would be a lot of time and money probably. And there's also the fact that it may not be as reliable of a certification if it's coming in from in-house and instead of like a third party company that deals with multiple vendors. But I know the power supply, I was gonna say, next to the new CPUs and new graphics cards that are out, the power supply is next in line for just like crappy PC parts to try to buy right now. They've gone way up in price and way down in availability. I just feel like their stock has not been there. There were a couple of units available for the Black Friday week and weekend, but up until that point, it's been really lousy. Power supplies suck. My neighbor in this building, he has a PC for his work, his business, and I was talking to him last week. He's like, yeah, the power supply died, and I ordered a new one. It took me forever to try to find the right one that had the right wattage, that wasn't overly priced.
Yeah.
And when it came, it was defective, so I had to RMA it, and then they didn't have any more in stock, so I had to buy a completely different unit, which took me another like 2 weeks to get. And I was like, yeah, that's how power supplies are right now. I was like, you really should have just knocked on my door.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you one of the 25 that I have just collecting dust. But
you have that many?
Yeah.
I can never keep power supplies around. I always feel like I need more of them.
I have a lot.
Oh, well.
Too many. They're heavy.
Okay.
Space. Most of them aren't in boxes anymore, so there's just like a tower, a couple towers of them.
Wow. Well,
and they're non-modular, so there's just like octopus cables.
Way to just flaunt your power supply, oversupply to all of us.
It's a weird flex.
I know.
Definitely a weird flex.
What was I going to say about power supply? Oh yeah, I was going to say, power supply has always, to me, been a very important part of a PC build. I've said, going all the way back to the Newegg days when I worked on the Egg Expert forums, never skimp on the power supply. You should get a solid unit and don't go for one of the bare bones cut down ones. An 80+ rating is actually a reasonable way to ensure that your power supply has decent quality components inside. There are other factors such as build quality and stuff like that go into it, but you can't really fake an efficiency rating with crappy components, because crappy components are leaky. And but if you did invest in a solid power supply, even 4, 5, 6 years ago, and it's still going strong, like, that's a great thing about power supplies. You can carry it over to a different system. There were some efficiency stuff in the past few years with that, but hopefully lots of you have power supplies that are still holding up strong. All right, next up, Bitcoin. New record.
No.
New record high yesterday for Bitcoin on Monday.
Holy crap.
$19,850.11.
Mother of God.
Can't seem to quite crack that 20K mark, and I do believe it has dropped a little bit since then. It's back down into the 18,000 range as of today. Nevertheless, that's a pretty significant jump. Previous peak was in 2017. Three plus went in 2017, about 3 years ago. You can see that one back here. And although I can't seem to get the little thing to hover over it, that was $19,783 was the previous one. Some various things to consider here. One, we're talking about this in the Oh Joy segment, which is typically bad news. And from a gamer's perspective, this is bad news because you're looking at lots of different interested parties vying for the limited GPU stock. And if there are now more interested parties because there are people buying them to do cryptocurrency mining on, then that is potentially less of that available to you. There's an argument to be made for cryptocurrency mining and its benefits and everything, and I don't really want to dive into that because I think I think there's a lot to get into there, and it's not even something I feel like I could really fully discuss without spending a few days doing additional research on it and everything. That said, if Bitcoin is worth more money then yes, there are going to be more people who want to try to mine Bitcoin or other derivative cryptocurrency that they can trade for Bitcoin using their gaming graphics cards. So there it is. And if it's like if now wasn't already a challenging enough time to buy graphics cards, this is not going to help. Apparently, there is a sort of a difference in who's buying, or who's either buying or mining cryptocurrency or Bitcoin specifically. It is this time around led by American investors, including companies and other traditional investors who are treating Bitcoin as an alternative asset, something somewhat like gold. Rather than quickly trading in and out of it, more investors are using Bitcoin as a place to park part of their investment portfolios outside the influence of governments and the traditional financial system. So, there it is. Articles from New York Times. It is soft gated. Open it in a incognito window if you get blocked from reading a New York Times article, because they only let you read 5 or 6 or 5 or something. Anyway, point being, gamers sad due to this.
Man.
Oh yeah.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
And then there's that other thing, the other bit of news, which apparently I didn't bring this up as a leading story. Linus talked about this on the Wayne show, I think on Friday. I didn't watch that, but I know they discussed it. Which is a sale of $175 million worth of Ampere GeForce RTX 30 GPUs from NVIDIA, like bulk sale, like they would to a distributor to I think Ethereum miners or consortium or something like that, which is a pretty significant amount of GPUs. That seems to still kind of be in the rumor category to some degree. So I don't want to. I think it would take grain of salt and everything like that, but that's the weird position that this puts people in when something is so scarce and in such high demand. Is it's up to the companies often to like behave in a way that the public would view as ethically. But some people view ethically as the company doing everything it possibly can to make as much money as possible, because that's what companies are supposed to do.
Right.
Ethics are, I guess, subject of debate sometimes. Point being, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, this would definitely be like a good, if we were doing it this episode. I know we're not, but this would be a good like sword fight topic.
Yeah.
Like, does NVIDIA, is it morally sound for NVIDIA to sell that many GPUs to miners?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's two very divisive stances on it, or schools of thought. Like, yes, they're a business, they're in the business of making money, it's their product, they can sell it to whoever the fuck they want. And then there's the other side of it where it's like, no, well, yeah, true, but all of their briefings, all of their keynotes and shit are all aimed and targeted at gamers. They're always spitting about how they're into gaming, and they're here for the gamers and shit. There's never a fucking lick about fucking miners.
Yeah.
So is it really ethically sound that they're going behind gamers' back and selling it to a completely different audience than the one that they're advertising these products to? So I think that'd be a really compelling, because I think there's obviously valid points on both sides, but yeah. I would agree. It's crazy.
Well, next week then, Kyle, we can argue that next week. There you go. We already got subject matter for next week's awesome hardware. Somebody was asking what I'm drinking or what I just poured. I mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but if you're watching live and you didn't catch that, this was a present from Steve. It is Imperial Stoutwork Orange by Avery Brewing Company. Barrel-aged stout in bourbon and whiskey barrels with orange peel, cacao nibs, and cardamom. Cardamom.
Is it good?
It is flavorful. I'm still analyzing it. You definitely get the orange peel. It's 15.
You said that was 15.
15.7% alcohol by volume, though. So
I'm glad it's only in a 12-ounce bottle.
I'm gonna sip this gently.
There was because this is the Steve he's talking about is our friend Steve OMG from Newegg, when we used to, our old friend and coworker.
Yes.
We still keep in close contact with. No, not Gamers Nexus Steve. I know people were going to ask. That's why I specified. But he gave me the same, a similar gift basket with a bunch of different beers, a variety of beers, and I finished off the last of them last night. And one of them that I was saving for last was a 10%er. I was like, "Ooh, this is a good one," and it was like in a big like a big bomber bottle,
Mm-hmm.
like 10.5%, and it was like a Belgian ale,
Ah.
and then it had like one of those like those cork, like where you have to like it's got a metal clasp, and you have to like undo the clasp, and then it pops up. So I undid the metal clasp, and it didn't make any, it hardly made any noise, and there was no like carbonation or fizz, and I was like, oh no, was there an air leak or something? And when I poured it, it was completely flat.
Oh
it was
no!
Undrinkable. It had gone stale. It tasted horrible. I mean, it would have been a good beer, but I was very disappointed that that was the last beer that I had to end on for the
suck.
night.
That's
but I'm okay now because
what you got there?
Drinking the DT.
Ooh, delirium tremens from a can. When did they do?
From a can.
When did they put that in cans?
There's a liquor store, like a really nice liquor store. They've got a wide variety of stuff at my house. Then they have DT in cans. It comes in a 4-pack, and it's like $16.99 or something. I was like, hell yeah!
Oh, I want some of that.
It's fantastic.
Okay, well, so there we go. Bitcoin. We have one more story for Oh Joy here. This one's from Tom's Hardware. SSD makers swapping parts out, swapping internal components in their SSDs. With something like a V2 or a V3 slapped on there, but the components they're swapping in are not as good, and they suck, and so the SSD is slower. It's stupid. Anyway.
Wait, so they're the same model? They're advertised as the same model of SSD, but they're actually different internals?
Yes. So this one specifically that's reviewed and tested in the story from Tom's Hardware is the ADATA XPG SX8200 Pro. It has 3 different variations, a V1, a V2, and a V3. And according to the testing here, there's as much as a 41% change, specifically in file copy performance from version to version. This article is a good article. And we've criticized Tom's Hardware sometimes. Tom's Hardware has a wide variety of writers, and I appreciate the ones that are thorough. And this is absolutely a very thorough article. So if this somehow grabs your attention to the point where you're like, I want to hear more about that, I highly recommend checking out the article, which is linked in the video's description on YouTube, because he covers lots of stuff. Like, for example, ADATA is absolutely not the only one who has ever done something like this. They are one in probably a long line of SSD manufacturers who has done this.
They all do it.
This reminded me of actually a Kingston issue. There was one of the earlier Kingston versions of the SSD where they did the same thing. It's like, because there's different components in an SSD. You have a controller. You might have a separate memory chip that operates as a cache. You have the NAND flash itself. Sometimes a portion of the NAND flash is set aside to function as a cache. They might be running at different frequencies, the memory itself and the controller, and changing those things can affect performance. You also have to bear in mind that these companies often, they buy these as commodities when they buy a big stock of NAND flash or something to integrate into a product or something like that. But here you can see on this chart just the different versions of the ADATA XPG, the V1, V2, and V3, the variations of the controller that they're using, which are running at a different clock speed. They're all using different kinds of flash for the actual NAND, and then the interface speed is also different in between them. Some companies have done this before, where they change the product, but then it's faster, and people don't seem to mind that too much. But when you change a product and it gets slower, then that kind of sucks. And here, for example, this is an Atto benchmark, QDepth 1 and QDepth 4. So if you look at this green line, this is the V3. This is even the V3. You might look at the V3 and be like, oh, that's newer. That must be better. That's the green line here, which obviously is not keeping up with the sequential write speed that's supposed to, which is 3,000 megabytes per second. Bunch of charts, a bunch of tests in this article again. Very thorough. I'm not going to cover the entire thing, but you can see, for example, here, the V2 here is suffering in terms of read speed in this test. The V3 is suffering in terms of write speed in this test, so on and so forth. Point being, if you're trying to buy an SSD, which can already be fairly confusing, this makes it more confusing, especially when brands are being disingenuous or not forthright in telling you what's in their product. And it often seems intentional when you look at something like this, because you're like, oh, well, the V1 was really good, and then they cheaped out. They found that they could buy this component, which is like almost as good but not quite, but they could get a lot cheaper. So they integrated that for the V2 of it, and now the performance is less. But people who are about to buy this product are just going to be looking at like, oh, what's the they're not going to look at they're not going to look at V1 or V2 or whatever. They're just going to be like, the SX8200, what's the review on it? And they're reviewer reviewed the first version, and they're like, hey, that's great, and so on. So anyway, again, just kind of a crappy thing, but and it takes someone to go into the level of depth of this article to go and really kind of suss out the actual differences between them. And they actually had to go to request, I think, directly from AData to get the different versions to do the comparisons between them. So yeah.
Damn.
For both the newer SX8200 Pro variants we tested, the revisions performed much slower than the original. V2 was close in terms of sequential performance, but fell short in every test thrown at it. So that's another thing. They're putting something in there that, at first glance, if you're just like, oh, run it through Crystal Diskmark and see what the sequential performance is, might look okay. But there's lots of different ways to use an SSD, and you got to run more tests than that in order to figure that out. Okay, that's all. But
I was gonna say, did it specify if they were just trying to cut down, overhead, and they were, seeking out new NAND and controllers, or could these have possibly been maybe like a surplus of stock that they already had for maybe a different model of SSD, like a cheaper model that they're like, oh shit, we have a surplus, we should just repurpose it into this model, instead of spending the time and money to create another model that we could use these parts with.
There are some quotes directly from AData in the article that I think is sort of attempting to explain their reasoning in why they chose the different controllers, and they're saying like, oh, this is an updated version of this controller, and the reasons why they're slightly different than the naming is because of timing and of release of the controllers, and because they're designed for different customers. So yeah,
sounds pretty vague.
It sounds pretty vague. I mean, I think they probably have their reasons why to justify why they went and did that. But at the end of the day, if they're saving on their BOM cost because they bought this other batch of NAND flash, or got these other controllers for much cheaper, then that sucks if they're trying to sell it as the same product if the performance is less.
Either way, it doesn't matter how they came to that decision. I was just curious. Just curious what the motive was.
I mean, I'm sure it boils down to cost, like it always does. How can we make more money this year? Shameful. All right. Let's move into our last segment here, which is going to be a bit of an Ask the Audience, or a yes/no. I thought I had Ask the Audience set up here, but I've got yes/no. All right, so I just posted a link to the straw poll in chat for those of you who weren't around earlier when I linked it to our yes/no question. We're just looking for your feedback on the 3060 Ti launch. Now, we are in sort of a brief window of time here between when the reviews went up, which was this morning, and when the cards actually go up for sale, which is tomorrow morning. By the way, quite a few questions in chat asking when the 3060 Ti will go up for sale. I don't think that there is a specific, like for reviews, there's always an embargo. They say on this date at this time you can publish your testing and everything about this product. And I know there's something similar for like retailers for when they can sell a product, but I know it's also just kind of up to the retailer, or ultimately up to a product manager who often just has to click something like in their product management system for whatever retailer you're talking about that says, go live now, or make this quantity of inventory available for sale on the website. I would look for maybe midnight tonight. But I would say more likely like 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's really hard to say.
If you want to be really cautious, you could even try like 9 p.m. tonight because it could be, Eastern time versus Pacific or something.
Depending where you're located. 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific is a pretty good bet. Is a pretty good bet for you guys to be keeping an eye out. That's often when the review embargoes lift, and sometimes when the products go up for sale as well.
Where would you go? Like if you were a normal consumer, didn't have the job that you do, it's 5:59 a.m. right before a card's about to launch. Where are you going to Newegg? Are you going to go to Best Buy, NVIDIA, or AMD site directly?
Well,
like what?
They
what would Paul do?
No, they said in the doc. Hold on.
Well, they said is it just FEs that are launching? I thought it was all of them.
No, they're all launching.
Okay. Because I know FEs are at Best Buy.
But it says in the document, I can't show you guys this because it's got my watermarks all over it, but it says...
So I'll just recite it to you verbally.
It's just my email address, which honestly isn't
that
horrible or anything like that. But where... It says in the doc, I'm positive. Pricing, 3rd gen tensor cores... I know because it was one of the few bits of useful information from my video, which was like here's where NVIDIA said to go and buy it. I feel like I'm getting too far down for information like that. Watchdogs, reference specs, contact for all of the PR reps. It's probably towards the top. There's Fortnite. Or maybe it wasn't in the doc. Maybe it was in one of the email contacts that we had.
Okay.
It's specific though. Best Buy and Micro Center.
FEs. Okay, Best Buy and Micro
it's like I spent all this time looking, and then I realized if I just thought about it for a second, I would probably remember. It's Best Buy and Micro Center, is what they said.
Those are the only 2 stores that you'll be able to buy them from?
Apparently,
wow.
That seems to be the case.
Wow.
Or okay. Walmart? Was it Walmart? Yeah, Best Buy and Micro Center. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so Newegg's not getting any stock whatsoever for this launch.
That's what was a little weird to me because I saw that when I was looking through my email or whatever, and I was like, really? Okay, that's all right. But again, maybe that's something they're doing to control inventory more, or maybe they're rewarding them for being good with CAPTCHA or something like that. Best Buy and Micro Center is what I said in the video. Okay, yeah. See, I remember what I said. I remember everything I say.
Yes. No mistakes were made.
Why am I trying to email?
Well, good luck. Anyone who's trying to buy a 3060 Ti tomorrow, I wish you the best of luck.
Me too.
And
I know
tweet at us.
Some people are gonna get some. There's a handful of people who are gonna be very happy tomorrow. So
if any, I would love for nothing more than to wake up tomorrow morning to seeing a tweet from one of you guys that you actually got one when they launch. So if anyone who's in chat right now, there's 669 of you. Woohoo! If any of you guys get a 3060 Ti tomorrow, tweet me and Paul right when you get it.
Yes.
Just it'll make us feel good.
I want to hear.
To know that one of our fans got one.
I want to hear about it.
One of our viewers got one.
Here. I'm sure I will be able to find this.
Sending you all my good luck. Just kidding, I don't have any. You're on your own.
Here it is. Here's
what, Paul? Just spit it out.
Worldwide availability. Yeah. Okay. The embargo for reviews and unboxings of the RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition and partner AIC boards is the same day, December 1st, 6 a.m. PT. Worldwide availability will commence on December 2nd, 2020, and there's not a time listed there, by the way. So take that for what it is.
Okay.
U.S. customers can purchase the RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition cards directly from Best Buy and Micro Center. Canadian customers can purchase the RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition cards from BestBuy.com. Ah, okay. So that's actually, see, I'm reading that more clearly now. Founders Edition. If you want the Founders Edition, that's where you're going to buy them, because I don't think NVIDIA,
that's what I thought.
I don't think NVIDIA is going to have them directly on their site again. But that does seem to indicate that for adding board partner cards, third-party designs, there probably will be wider availability. at other locations besides Best Buy and Micro Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. All right.
So there we go. I'm glad I was able
Godspeed, everyone.
to find that. All right, let's give you some straw poll results here, and we can move on to the closing bits of the show. I'm gonna link the other straw poll in chat because there's 2 of them, and I only think I linked 1.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's my daughter. It's my daughter.
Oh, no.
She's so cute. She kind of clashes right now, though.
She clashes? What, her outfit?
She has a pink top on and like a red and black checkered pants. All right, results: 360 Ti, yes or no? Oh, it's pretty close.
What is it?
Pretty close.
Oh.
But yes.
Hold on, I'm still waiting.
We're leaning towards positive with 53% yes and 47% no. So when forced to make the binary decision of just whether the 3060 Ti is a good thing or a bad thing, we're definitely split, but we're leaning towards yes. Okay, second question: 3060 Ti, yes, no, or maybe. Some people feeling positive, more options, more stock. Maybe some people will get some. Some people are like, hey, cool, that's there. I'm just like, I'm probably not going to get one, so not going to get worked up. Some people are right in the middle. Some people are not mad, but they're like, why even bother? Like, if you're just a little irritated, or you got the people whose souls are raging with the fury of 1,000 suns, and so on and so forth there. Okay, results.
Angry.
Positive. Look at that. Look at the positivity there. I appreciate the positivity, everyone. 31% of you guys saying, feeling positive, more GPUs available. And even I guess second up is going to be that's like not super negative, but still like just like what's the point? I feel you there. I feel you there. And that accounts for about half of the votes. Everything else is a little split up.
I'm impressed by all of your optimism.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Only 6.
I thought it was going to be reversed.
16% feeling the rage there. So there it is.
We just have we've cultivated such a nice following over the years, Paul.
I don't know. I feel like trying to explain things reasonably and be reasonable and
keep your cool.
Yeah. Also,
it's
a graphics card. It's not like food or shelter.
Not food.
Or yeah.
It ain't underwear. We're good.
All right. Oh, everyone's saying they're demanding a recount. Good chat. All right. Obviously, this is rigged.
No, the recount can only go into effect if the results were close within a 0.5% of each other.
That's true.
It was too much of a landslide. So no recount is eligible.
This is gonna turn
rigged.
This is gonna turn into a states' rights issue, I think, ultimately. All right, that's our Ask the Audience segment, and now we are gonna gently shift gears into the end of the show. Sometimes we do this just on Twitch, but I think for today we're just going to keep rolling. The end of the show involves us answering some questions that have been asked in chat, some Johnson shoutouts, and Kyle and I increasingly thinking about what we're going to have for dinner.
Cannot wait for that. Del Taco.
We had that for lunch today, actually.
Must be a SoCal thing.
Yeah, it's so delicious. Del Taco French fries, like, oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
They're so good. They're so good.
Few things compare.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Barto Tech. We'll start off with Barto Tech. Love you both, as a man would love another man. Okay. Thanks for specifying. Do you know if NVIDIA Founders cards are still the higher binned chips versus add-in board partners?
I don't know if anyone's been able to like
verify that,
test that empirically. If anyone's been able to get their hands on like a significant enough sample size to see if like the average sustained clock speed is higher on the Founders cards.
I don't
like
think so.
the most significant indication for me, and this is a little bit anecdotal because it relates to me, was with the RTX, well, actually with the 3090 at least, and the SLI overclocking that we were doing. Because myself, Jay, and Steve from Gamers Nexus all did sort of some earlier testing before it had gone kind of crazy with water cooling and stuff like that, and got up to a certain number of points in Port Royal. My testing with water cooling was surpassed by a dude is an older guy who does system integrations. Old guy with 10 kids tech, and he beat my score with two 3090s still with their stock Founders Edition coolers on them.
Oh wow!
So that to me indicated like, oh, those are some those chips are
chips.
comfortably running at higher frequencies even without the aid of liquid cooling or something like that. So again, a little bit anecdotal there, but for me, the fact that he was able to just take two of those 3090 Founders Edition cards, plop them in with the air coolers on, and beat the scores that we had been getting with like some modifications and water cooling and stuff like that, was like, all right, well, obviously if you want the best performing chips, those are probably the cards that you're going to want to get. But like I said, I don't think anyone has gone and been like, here's 30 Founders Edition cards and here's 30 add-in board cards, and we're going to test them all. And, because you'd need something more like that to say for sure, or you'd need NVIDIA to come out directly and be like, yep, we're keeping all the best chips for ourselves.
Right.
They might be. We don't know for sure. Okay.
You could test.
Yep.
All right, next we've got Bazinga X. Any news on a 4th gen Threadripper? AMD's been pretty quiet about 4th gen Threadripper, I think.
Yeah, they haven't brought it up.
Yeah,
but
it's something that we're keeping our ear to the ground too, because it's Threadripper launches are always exciting, just to see how balls to the wall crazy it'll go with core counts and thread counts and I/O and all that stuff.
I expect it to happen. I would be very surprised if it didn't. But
yeah, it's just a matter of when, not if, I think. But we will let you know as soon as more updates on that come around.
Yeah.
Pup.
I haven't heard any rumors or anything like that on that.
Yeah. Pup Shepherd, Wags. Thank you for commenting on my tech channel Twitter tweet where I prop up my tripod with spare computers. Nice hoodie, Kyle. Say hi to Hero.
Oh yeah, that was a fun picture. It reminded me of like what I do often, because I'm often like, oh, I need to, I want to get this shot, and I just need to set the camera right here, so I just grab whatever's within arm's reach to like stick underneath it, and sometimes you end up having a camera propped up on something kind of humorous.
Like a dog.
You
propped your tripod up on Hero.
I had it.
You're sick.
When I was
sick, man.
When I was doing my cream pie video, I had it sitting up on like a plastic bin that was for
your what video?
My cream pie video.
Okay.
I did a great cream pie video, guys. If you didn't check it out recently, it's so funny, Kyle. I showed how to make a delicious chocolate cream pie. Anyone can make. I take through the ingredients. What's wrong?
I'm sure it was delicious. I'm sure it turned out.
Did you watch my cream?
Everything.
Did you watch my cream
pie
pie video?
I didn't watch your fucking video.
You should watch my cream pie video, Kyle. It's really well done. The part at the end with the.
I'm sure you were very thorough.
Yeah, the part at the end with the topping, and it just.
Yeah.
Just like there, just like. Yeah.
All the whipped cream.
It's got a great finish. Great finish to that video.
Surprised you put that on YouTube. Definitely outside the realm of your normal content.
Sometimes you got to branch out if you want to capture a new audience and stuff. All right.
It's really an art form. All right.
Okay. What were we talking about? Pup Shepherd, yeah. So
yes.
it figures we'd be answering a Pup Shepherd question too when we start talking about the cream pies. But
Yeah.
point being, there's a plastic bin and I set the camera on top of it and then it fell over. And it's part of the video. Everyone, it's a good video. Actually, just finished that chocolate cream pie. It was so good.
Sounds tasty.
All right, POV Pool, thank you for your donation. Thanks for what you do, guys. You're both my go-to source for all my hardware questions. I hope you're here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. Kyle's you're still giggling. Are you okay?
No, I'm not. I'm just reading chat, but I'm ignoring them.
Oh,
now.
chat.
It's too much.
We love you, chat. Yes. Thank you, POV Pool. I really like the donations that are just statements of positivity and telling us that that people like us. I really enjoy those.
Yeah.
So thank you. And yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm hoping 2021 is just a little bit more normal. Just like I'm not expecting 2021 to be awesome or anything like that. Obviously, we gotta plan for the worst and everything in every situation these days. But if it can veer just ever so slightly towards normal, I will be. I will be very.
That's the thing, though. It's like, what is normal now? Now that we've been in this rut for the last 8 months, like this, like everyone keeps saying the new normal. So
it's very subjective.
I don't know. Is next year going to feel more normal than this year, or more abnormal? I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm just trying to cling to any small shred of optimism that I can. So I'll try to keep that. I mean,
zero hope, zero expectations.
No, you're right. If it boils down to it, you know, like
Dangerous.
Obviously the world's going to shit and we're all going to die, but at least, you know, publicly I try to put on that facade of like yeah. Anyway,
you can't be moping around making videos all day.
You're right. That's no way to live. Mike MB67, thank you for your elite donation. He says, "Hey Paul and Kyle, I'm donating a system, of course. Expect it to arrive soon." Mike, have you?
Yes.
Did you ship me something, Mike? I've had so many packages arrive lately, and it's cool. And then at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But Mike has donated systems. Wait, did he donate 2 systems so far?
I think so. Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah.
And they've all been small form factor.
Yeah, he likes to do the small form factor stuff. So
which is great for shipping.
Mike is a longtime viewer and a friend of the show who is from here in Southern California, down in San Diego, and he's awesome. And we've met him at several of the fan meetups. And he has donated. He's just of his own accord, without us asking or anything, has donated full computers to be like, here's another computer to give away during our charity stream. So we greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much, Mike. And I'll be looking forward to when that arrives. I'll keep an eye out for it.
I'm excited to see what he puts in this one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's always like a badass system too. It's like, oh fuck, I want that. It's not just like a chintzy. Like he goes all out. So
yeah, I might just keep it if it's good enough.
I'm excited. Yeah, fuck all you guys. Bazinga X, have you got your old office at the house converted to a baby room yet?
Who are you asking, me or Kyle? We've got a baby room. It's all set up. It's good to go.
Yeah. No baby room in my house. House.
Must be asking me.
Yes. Probably you.
Yeah. You know. But thank you though, Bazinga. Actually, our baby room took a decent amount of work to get set up. The only negative thing about our baby room is it still has the texture that's on the walls. The texture has been removed in most of the house. No, like we had the entire front of the house and hallway replastered over the walls because it had this crazy texture on it.
Oh, right.
When we did the remodel and everything like that, baby room still has that, although it's been painted over with like a vanilla ice cream colored paint, so it's nice. But anyway, it's an important part of the whole process. So yes, Bazinga, thank you for your donation. Patrick Wilson, thank you for your donation. Having a tough day, boys. Gotta say goodbye to my best 4-leg buddy. Make me laugh if possible.
No!
Oh, Patrick.
What?
Patrick, I'm so sorry, man.
Dude.
I'm so sorry.
That makes me want to cry.
That is a super rough day, and that's like, I got Hero right down here, and Hero boy, he's such a good boy. He is an old boy. He is a 100-pound pit bull mastiff mix, and he's already like 11 or 12 years old, which is old for a dog his size. And he's been getting slower and slower, and I'm not looking forward to a day I know is coming in the future at some point. But until then, he's a very good boy, and we spend as much time with him as we can. And Patrick, I hope you have spent many good days with your good boy as well, and I hope his passing is peaceful. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry, I can't make you laugh. I can't say a joke after that. That's so sad. Everyone in chat, thanks for the respects in chat, you guys.
Yeah, my when I was living with my grandparents, you know, we had our 2 cats there and stuff, and I've never, as long as I've lived, I've never seen my grandpa have a pet or of any kind. Mm-hmm. And I'd ask him, I was like, "Do you like hate animals or something? Like, why have you never had a pet?" He's like, "No, I love animals." I was like, "Well, then, why have you never had a pet?" He's like, I don't like ever getting pets because they die." That was his reasoning, and I was like, "That's a very legitimate point, because you know you're gonna outlive them unless you get like a freaking desert tortoise or something." But it is something that you're just signing up for that. You're signing up for that dreadful day as soon as you take that pet home to your house. It's gonna happen, you know. So it's then it made me think of like, shit, I'm never having pets again. Fuck that. I'll have kids because I'll outlive the kids. You know, that's fine. They can bury me, but I don't like burying things. Nope.
For some reason, as you were saying that, what comes to mind for me is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Just wipe the memory.
Well, no, I feel like one of the themes of that movie is that, you know, that there's life can be painful, life can be extremely challenging, and there can be some truly you know, heartbreaking experiences that you go through.
Right.
But those are contrasted by the positive experiences and the joyful ones, and you know, for you get a pet and you know at the end of the road that eventually the end of the road's coming, but you got all that time between now and then to spend the time and enjoy the memories and all that stuff. We did get deep. We got super deep real quick. But
that's like when I was young, I would go to church, you know, with my parents and stuff when I was young, and they'd be like talking about Garden of Eden and shit. Like, yeah, everything was perfect, and then they like, you know, chick bit the apple, and all of a sudden there was sin in the world, and I was like, that sounds way more interesting though than like perfection, like Garden of Eden. Like, what were Adam and Eve talking about? Like, hey, how you doing? Great. You? Perfect. Cool. Well, shit, I can't even, what now? Like, you can't even appreciate all the good stuff unless it's like you said, contrasted by a bunch of pain and suffering and terrible existential crises.
Right. And when you say that, what comes to mind for me yet again, and I don't know why I always associate these with movies, but movies I feel like are often capable of delivering a message in a very poignant and sometimes succinct way. And maybe this isn't what you would expect, but are you familiar with the movie Hook?
The Peter Pan one with
Peter
Robin
Pan
Williams?
was Robin. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So Dustin Hoffman, who plays Hook in that movie, has a line towards the end, which for some reason has always kind of resonated with me, where he's like, after all, what would the world be like without Captain Hook?
Yeah.
And
that's a big one.
For me, like I said, I don't know. It's a single line from a movie from whenever Hook came out. But for me, that's always been like, what would the world be like without that contrast, without both good and evil, and anything. Right. Anyway, so yeah, we're getting
Pleasantville. Pleasantville comes to mind. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen Pleasantville.
I think that's shit. I forget who's in it, but Tobey Maguire. I think is in it. But yeah, everything's like black and white starting out. The whole movie's black and white. Everything's perfect. There's no one's having sex and shit. It takes place in like a vintage era, like 60s or something. And as like more and more, you know, more worldliness gets interjected into these people's lives, they're like the editing becomes more colorful. Like
Maybe I have seen that. That sounds
become more colorful and stuff. It's a really good movie.
That sounds very familiar now that you describe it. But anyway,
we could talk about movies all night. But
you're right. We could. We should do a separate.
Do a podcast. We should start a podcast.
Yeah.
This is basically what we're.
First, we need to make this into a podcast, which has been requested for so long. All right.
One thing at a time.
Patrick, thank you for your donation and your comments, and you got us off on a tangent there. But again, our sympathies with you, man. I really hope that tomorrow looks better for you. Greg Walrath, are you Josh's brother? Greg?
Josh Walrath?
Yeah. Anyway, Kyle, let me be a bit more clear this time. You should carry glasses like these, and he put a link to an Amazon.
Gotta love fan-provided links. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Oh, it didn't. Came back with nothing.
It's an Amazon link.
It's just a bunch of dogs, because it's Amazon.
I have to cough.
Bless you.
Oh.
Achoo.
Sorry about that. Crept up on me.
Yeah.
Amazon, are you able to? It's not working.
No, I'm just getting a bunch of dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah, that's that Amazon 404.
Oh, you're right. Well, sorry, Josh. Sorry, Greg.
Wait, who's Josh Walrath?
He's a fellow tech reviewer. He does.
Is he?
He does written stuff.
Okay.
PC Perspective and other publications.
Okay. You're better at the names.
Anyway, sorry.
All right. Sorry, Josh. Or Greg. Sorry, Greg. Paul's brainwashed me.
But you should carry glasses in your store, Kyle, is the point.
Okay. Like eyeglasses or no? He's talking about
I don't know, the link doesn't work.
Drink glasses. Yeah, we'll never know. It says camping in the link, so I'm guessing like heavy duty glasses. I have no idea. Figure it out later.
Style fashioned whiskey glasses camping.
Message us again next week, Greg. All right, USS Liberty incident said nothing wrong with Great War PSU. It give you 1 kilowatt.
They're whiskey glasses.
Oh, whiskey glasses.
They're not like glasses you wear on your face. They are whiskey glasses.
Okay. Well, I figured that it was either drinking glasses or eyewear. So how did you?
They're 11 ounces. I just searched for the.
Oh, okay.
The description.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would like to add some whiskey like just more glassware in general, to the store at some point. There's so many things I want to add.
Yep.
It's just gotta do it one thing at a time. But USS Liberty incident said nothing wrong with the Great War PSU. Is that a brand? It gives you 1 kilowatt, no problem. No need stinky 80 plus rating. Oh, I think he's trying to do a Lyle impersonation.
Noting Wong with Great Wall, the Great Wall ones.
Great War. Yeah. Give you 1 kilo. He should have said kilowatt.
Kilowatt. You're right.
Messed
no
up
problem.
The pronunciation of that.
You're right.
He actually put the L in the kilowatt. It's a Lyle mistake.
That's obviously why it didn't come across as well. But thank you, USS Liberty incident. And yeah. All right. Cambo 680. What GPU should I go for right now? I need a GPU. I have a $600 budget. Where will you guys recommend? Excuse me.
Hold on. $600.
It's just very difficult to say what you should do with that right now. Do you absolutely really you have a business that's dependent on this graphics card and getting it right now? Like you need your computer functional absolutely 100%? Then I don't know, look at eBay, look at secondhand stuff. It's hard. It's really hard to say.
Look at secondhand, I guess. Try shopping local first. You might find better deals.
Anything you'd be buying right now is going to be overpriced. It's going to be marked up, or it's going to be a secondhand sale that's also marked up. Mm-hmm. Sorry, suddenly my nose is running. I don't know what this is. Must be this beer. This beer is messing me up.
Yeah. No matter how you cut it, you're not gonna get, if you try to buy a GPU right now, you're not gonna get as much bang for the buck as you would.
Yeah.
As opposed to if those new cards were available right now.
What you should
yeah.
what you should be aiming for with a $600 budget is a 3070 or an RX 6800. Those are the two graphics cards that are new and fresh and have the newest technology, and that's the price range that they should cost. Even $600 for a 3070 is providing you with headroom to get like a third-party design or something like that. But
Yeah.
none of them are in stock right now, so you probably can't buy them right now. So I would say wait until those are in stock at a price where you can buy them for your $600 budget. And if you can't wait, then you're gonna be suffering because you're gonna be paying more money for less GPU power.
Yeah.
Jay Bell, thank you for your donation. Hopefully crypto will crash again in a couple months, leaving a lot of cheap secondhand 3080s. You never know. You never know exactly how that's gonna go. There's a lot to be said right now as well. If you're talking about the crypto thing, and part of the reason we didn't go into more depth to it is because there's GPU mining with general purpose GPU compute functions that you have available in a consumer graphics card, and then there's the ASIC miners that people have been developing, and that's part of the reason why the popularity of GPU mining fell off in like 2017 and 2018 was because these ASIC miners, which is an application-specific integrated circuit, which is basically a small chip that's made specifically to mine Bitcoin. It can't do much else besides that. But because it's only specifically made to do that specific thing, they can produce them cheaper, and they're also more efficient. So ASIC mining was kind of the go-to. Now, with Bitcoin costing more, then I don't know if there's now more of a case to be made for like, hey, you can make this much money mining with a 3080 or a 6800 XT or something like that. That still remains to be seen. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be another thing where there's a bunch of secondhand cards that are flooding the aftermarket or the secondhand market. It could happen. I wouldn't bank on that. I wouldn't plan on it, but I would keep an eye out for it. Sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cambo 680 with another donation. All that is on Amazon are RX 580, 570 and 580s, and even the 2060 regulars are going for $400 plus. The market is in shambles. So yes, you're obviously already aware of what we just said to you. So that's where we're at right now. If you need a graphics card right now, you either need patience or you need to be willing to spend more money for a lesser graphics card because everything's overpriced.
Well, here's one thing. I don't know how effective it would be, but have you like looked at like hardware swap on Reddit just to see if there's anyone who's willing to trade maybe an appealing graphics card for
I feel like the second
maybe not money but other hardware.
I feel like the secondhand market is one of those like fluid things that you need to kind of regularly keep up with if you want to like be able to say what the situation is, and it's not something that's not really something that I do. So it might be the case that hardware swap or other secondhand options might be a resource that you can look into.
You may have to get creative.
If
Trade
you're
my old
creative.
C97 motherboard and this 500 watt EVGA power supply for and my old graphics card for your 3090.
Exactly.
Totally worth it.
It's a good deal. All right.
It's tough.
Josh Asturias. It's a conspiracy from the console people to keep the master race down, I tells ya. I feel like this is one that I want to know when he made this comment and what we were talking about because the context is missing here. What's a conspiracy from the console people? Just the lack of stock of stuff?
That's not true because even the consoles can't stay in stock.
Yeah.
No one can buy a PS5 right now. Like it's impossible.
Yeah.
2020, has literally it's put obviously a lot of people at home for extended periods of time, and gaming has proven itself to be like a recession-proof industry because it's one of the cheapest forms of entertainment. You go to a movie theater for for maybe 2 hours, a 2-hour movie that's going to cost you 10, 15 bucks, depending on where you live, versus spending, you know, 50, 60 bucks on the game that'll give you 20 plus, 50 plus, maybe even 100 hours of entertainment. So when people are struggling and have very thin wallets, a lot of people turn to gaming actually in times like this, which kind of explains why companies like NVIDIA were seeing 10x the amount of demand on their RTX 3080 launch, where they're like, this is far exceeding like Black Friday levels even that we've seen in prior years. So, you know, I think it's a lot of the effects that we're experiencing in the PC space, a lot of console gamers are seeing it now too, just having a really hard time getting hands on this hardware.
Yeah.
So, crazy.
One thing I have seen a couple of, just because they popped up in my YouTube recommendations, is there's people who are doing live feeds with automated inventory checkers on YouTube.
Oh.
I can't really vouch for these myself or anything like that, but it's just something I've seen. So you can go and watch the stream, and the feed is just a text thing that pops up, and it checks Best Buy, and then it checks Newegg, and then it checks this, and then it checks this. And they have there's different streams for 5000 series AMD CPUs or for graphics cards. And the main reason I found them interesting is because they do pick up when new inventory drops pop in, and it has a little bit of a history there, so you can see like, okay, you know, Newegg did get some quantity of inventory in at 4 p.m. today, and, you know, of course they were bought up instantly and everything like that, but inventory is coming in from time to time and everything. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then yeah, the console situation is sort of I mean, I feel like this is all an AMD thing to some degree, because they've got the consoles, they've got the graphics cards, they've got the CPUs, and they're all vying for TSMC time. So
yeah,
that's one of the things that's been pointed at for why the Radeon GPUs are so scarce, is because they're prioritizing the console chips over that. But it's you never know for sure. A lot of it's just speculation.
Yeah.
All right.
Last up, we've got Joshua Sweet. Thank you for the $5 donation. Tell Wifey Sauce that we enjoy her videos and her oven mitts. I will let her know. Yeah, she made a video recently on her channel. You guys should go check it out. It's her channel name is Wifey Sauce. It's on how to make really good mashed potatoes. I got to taste them after she was done making them in the kitchen, and they were lovely. I will let her know about your love of her mitts.
Mashed potatoes are delicious.
Literally, that's probably not a euphemism. But thank you. Thank you, Joshua.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's it for donations.
That's all we have for donations. Thank you very much, Crafty, for helping out with those.
Thanks, Crafty. Appreciate it, man.
We do have, I think, some maybe some orders that have come in that we can distribute some Johnsons for.
Benjamin S. from Lakewood, Colorado. Johnson to you for picking up a Windows loading logo solid black tri-blend t-shirt. Thank you very much. Johnson to you.
Lovely. Yeah, that's a double Johnson for Ben.
Hey.
Also grabbed the navy blue tri-blend thumbscrew shirts. Thank you very much, Ben, and a Johnson for you, sir.
We've got a Johnson for Jacob E. from Townsend, Delaware. Thanks for picking up a Screw with Confidence Heather Black. No, tri-blend t-shirt. Yes, Screw with Confidence, all day, every day.
Awesome. Jessica F. From Green Bay, Wisconsin. Thank you for grabbing that awesome Hardware Robo Love lightweight hoodie. Johnson, from both of us to you for that, because it's awesome hardware merch.
I thought it was going to be a double Johnson, but we have a Jessica A. Totally different Jessica, but perhaps they know each other. Maybe they can speak.
You never know.
Telepathically in Jessica land. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Shirt needs updates. Black cotton T-shirt. Thank you, Jessica A.
James R. from Oregon. Big old Johnson for you. Thank you for your order. Awesome Hardware RGB everything. Thumbscrew metal gray shirt and the Awesome Hardware Robo Love lightweight hoodie. Thank you very much, sir.
That's
Johnson
a double Johnson. Double Johnson for James R. Thank you for picking up 3 shirts.
Ooh.
I will not list them all specifically, because there are 3 of them. And that's a lot.
Love you, James.
But thank you.
And my final Johnson for Dan B from Minnesota. And he got the Warhol thumbscrew black hoodie and the RGB Everything Awesome Hardware shirt. Johnson for you, Dan. Thank you.
My final Johnson is for Way. Way A from Champaign, Illinois. That's a cool city name.
Nice.
Sounds fancy. Must be super ritzy. You got 2 shirts and some coasters. The bamboo coasters. Thanks, Way.
Lovely.
We'll enjoy those.
All right, so this is the time of the show when we usually end the show, and this is also potentially sometimes the time when we do a Twitch raid. We don't have one lined up right now, but I'm gonna see if anyone's streaming on my stream.
I'll look in the recommended.
We should just raid whoever's in just chatting.
They'll have lots to chat about if they're being rated.
Exactly. All right. None of the people who I am subscribed to. Oh wait.
Yeah. Same here.
I don't know. Scott Fisher is streaming. We could raid him again.
God, what's his handle?
APL Fisher.
Oh right. Sure. Let's do it.
I mean, he has more viewers than we do right now, so.
Oh,
technically,
screw that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
He probably won't even notice, but we can still raid him. We can raid Scott because Scott's a good guy. And if you guys want to continue watching someone who's streaming and is entertaining, then check out Scott Fisher. All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you all very much for watching Awesome Hardware this time around. Join the raid if you're on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Thanks for joining me, Kyle. We'll be back next week with another episode. And don't forget the charity live stream coming up on December 12th.
See you guys there.
So long and have a good